Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. Another episode of Be You podcast, part of Super Mom's Magic Circle. And today we have an amazing guest, Karishma. You will find the truth about losing and finding yourself as a mom. But before I introduce you to her, let me share that I still have two slots available. If you want a business clarity coaching session for free, just send me a fire and then I know you are ready to get more clarity in your business and grow and scale it. So do that, and then we can make some magic together. Let's go back to my amazing guest, Karishma. She is all about helping parents. She is all about being true to who you are because she definitely understands how difficult it is after you have a child to find yourself again. She's the founder of the Truth Box, and also she has a psychology graduate, and it's all about mental fitness coaching, which I can't wait to find more about that. So what she does, she's focusing on helping parents to reduce and manage their pressure and the experience so they can tap into their strengths and create a balance that supports their personal and professional aspirations. She has a specialist return to work course. We're going to talk about that for new moms, and they're gonna learn how to navigate the challenges that women are facing in our modern world and making the world a more mentally fit place for our future generation. So let's welcome Karishma. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Roxandra. I'm so excited about today.
Thank you as well. Thank you for saying yes to Be You podcast. And I can't wait to learn more about you and your journey. And everything you do is incredible, I have to say. We do need that support. Let's start and tell us your journey. How did you start with the company? And I know you have two kids as well. Just tell us a bit about you.
Okay, so actually before I studied psychology and English, I always was fascinated with the mind, which is why I studied that. But I moved from Canada to the UK, I'd say nearly 17 years ago now, and I just fell into facilities management, something completely different, but I loved it. And I moved up pretty quickly, and I think that was because of how I managed my teams. I didn't even realize I was coaching then, but I just loved helping people feel good. And when they felt good, they did better at work. And so the teams were flourishing and it was fantastic. My daughter, who is now 12, I then had her, and it was such a fantastic return to work. I had the most amazing experience. And I shouldn't say I was spoiled because everyone should have a great experience. But looking back and hearing people's stories, I was spoiled. My teams were great. I was mentally really fit when I went back. It was fantastic. I then had my son, who is going to be 10 in a couple months, and I started a new role with him. I went to a strategic role because I was just, I loved what I did, but it was really hard in terms of being operationally like constantly on sites with two little ones. And so I decided to shift. And it was actually my dream job, something I had always wanted to one day achieve. And it was handed to me like on a platter. So that was fantastic until it wasn't, because everything changed. I found that people were trying to be so extra nice because I'm a mom. This will be hard, don't worry. And, don't worry about this project because you've got little ones, and don't worry about attending this. And they were being so overly like what they thought I needed rather than
Mm,
listening to what I needed, that I started losing projects that I absolutely couldn't wait to work on and doing the things that I love. And it really shot my confidence. And that rippled into my family life. I stopped thinking I was like, wonder, I'm not a good enough mom. I'm not a good enough wife. I'm not a good enough friend, daughter, like all the roles, like it just rippled into every part of my life. And that's when I left and I got coached and I worked on my mind, and I realized like how much of it I was projecting as well without realizing it. And had I had a coach to show me that actually there are so many things you can't control, but there are things you can that will change how you experience something or how long you're willing to experience something negative. But I didn't have that strength to do that then, which is where I then decided I'm going to go. I'm going to get certified. I'm now a certified mental fitness coach, and I am helping women. And I just dedicated my life to helping as many women at the start and now parents in general be stronger and really be strong in the foundation of who they are, because it then becomes easier to stand up for yourself at work in a way that helps everybody, like your workplace and you. It's not in a difficult way. It's in a way that's conducive to a much stronger working environment, which ripples into your family in a positive way, the same way the negative stuff does. Yeah, and when I
Wow.
saw when I experienced the challenges and then I came out of it, I thought, I don't want anyone else to go through this. Had someone taught me how much power was in my mind beforehand, we would have experienced that very differently as a family.
Wow, Karishma, thank you so much for being so open. Congratulations for the two kids and congratulations for everything you've been doing. And I can feel and I can hear you that it wasn't a very easy journey, especially
No.
after you become a mom, because we do lose that identity. We have no idea who we are anymore. And we do get a new identity, but it takes so much time to figure it out. Who am I as a mom? And what do I want to do next? You mentioned about confidence. That's a big, big, big issue lots of us have as parents. And we have all those questions. Am I doing the right thing? And especially if someone is showing you that
Yeah.
apparently you cannot do certain things just because you're a mom or a
Yeah.
parent, that's really difficult.
Yeah.
I love when you mention about the power of mind. To be honest, I had no idea of this term. The when like mindset, I know about mindset coach, but exactly what you do and what you
Mental
got.
fitness. Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk a bit more about that. Share with us what was the most powerful thing you did to hack your mind in order to be more confident and to see the life differently.
Okay, so I would say that it's probably twofold. So let me just tell you a little bit about what mental fitness is, because I don't think enough people have heard that term, and then I will explain what I did to
Great.
strengthen my mind in that way. So we all go to the gym. Well, no, we don't all, but a lot of us go to the gym to keep our bodies fit, to maintain that strength. But what are we doing to maintain our mental strength? Quite often we're like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm pushing through, I'm pushing through. And then suddenly we're not okay. So mental fitness helps bridge that gap because there's a gap there between being okay and then suddenly needing mental health support. So in terms of bridging the gap, we do that by practicing things called like positive intelligence reps, and we create what I call pockets of peace. So our brains can go a million miles an hour. And the first thing I did was I started creating pockets of peace. That is 10 seconds here, 20 seconds there, another 10 seconds here, where my mind can just be calmer and actually think just about like me in this moment. Because how often are we thinking ahead or behind? How do we just kind of pause, quiet it? And what that does is it calms all the different thoughts for a minute so that you can then get the energy you need to decide what is actually required of you. And it takes away that overwhelm. So, one thing is the pockets of peace, and I'll tell you how I create them as well in a minute. And the second thing that I did was through the pockets of peace first to just calm the mind. I was then able to say, how else can I see this? I was when things are challenging and our brain is wired to look for challenges, it's how it keeps us safe. And we've all heard this, we've all learned this. A lot of experts talk about it. So, what I do is because we are kind of, there's a spotlight on our challenge, which our brain is going to naturally do. When we are able to create pockets of peace, it makes us feel safe enough to widen what we're looking at. And we can see the challenge, but we can see opportunity as well. But if you don't have that, you are stuck here. And it is so hard. It is so painful to be stuck there. So those pockets of peace open up your spotlight and it gives you a chance to reframe your situation. Doesn't mean that challenge isn't still in there, but it gives you options on how you want to deal with it in a way that feels safer.
Fantastic. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. That's the best explanation I ever heard in very simple language. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. And this is when they are in the survival mode. This is when you feel overwhelmed. This is when you're anxious. This is when maybe depression kicks in or lots of other frustration and anger. And I love when you said, doesn't mean the challenge is not there. It's just now you have different eyes to see it and you have a
Yes.
different perspectives to see it. That's
Mhm.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love
And
that.
so, one of the ways to create the pocket of peace so that you're able to do that, because you can't do that when your brain is just going like a million miles an hour. One of the ways to do that is by awakening your senses. And actually, every single person who listens to this can do it. I promise. If you're listening to this right now and you have a drink, I have a cup of coffee here, simply holding that cup and feeling that warmth and only focusing on the warmth for 10 seconds can create a pocket of peace. Next time you wash your hands, to just feel how the water is hitting your hands, that is a pocket of peace. When you feel like, and you sit back and you just feel how your body is sitting on your chair or how your arms hit that is a pocket of peace. Right now, I can hear my dryer on actually. So if I pause and listen to that sound, I'm awakening my hearing. We have these different senses. Are we awakening them 10 seconds at a time? So simple. And we can all do it. If we all pause for 10 seconds and just listen to the furthest sound you can hear, how did that feel?
Good. I heard my heartbeat. Really, really interesting.
Oh, that's amazing. You know what? Not a lot of people hear their breathing or their heartbeat, but that 10 seconds means we've just chilled a little bit. We've calmed
Yeah.
our mind, and then you can think differently.
I love it. I love it because so many people are talking about being in the present moment. Be there. But nobody's really telling you how do you do
How
it.
to be. Yeah.
And because you mentioned being like only 10 seconds or 20 seconds, start with small steps. And
Yeah.
then you're gonna love and you're gonna grow that to 30 seconds to a minute. And eventually you will go to that mindfulness and meditation and everything
Exactly.
else
But
that
we
people
need, yeah, we need steps to get there, don't we? Even
mm,
when people say go for a walk and be in the moment, when I used to find it really hard, a top tip I'll throw out there, anyone who tries to walk and turn off their brain, I used to find it hard to just walk and switch off. So I would grab a leaf and I'd walk with it and I'd feel all the ridges on the leaf and just focus on that feeling as I was walking. Focus on how your feet hit the ground. So really the senses just keep, when you awaken your senses, that is your step towards mindfulness. That is your step towards being in the present moment and listening to yourself rather than the external noise of the whole world telling you. Like, I know I'm sharing what you could do, but it's to empower you to then switch everything else off and listen to your own voice, not the other voices.
that's so powerful. And we can teach our kids to do that from a very young age.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Karishma. So, what's your perspective? Why people are rushing so much? Why do you think that we are just so unhappy and looks like time is against us?
I think a lot of it has to do with a combination of the fact that as we get older, I think we begin to lose touch with ourselves. And so we're always doing things to fulfill something externally. So, for example, when you become a parent, you say, I am a parent. Being a parent is a role that we've taken on. Yes, it is a part of who you are now, but you are Roxandra. I am Karishma. Karishma is also a mom. Karishma is also a wife, is also a coach. But those are all roles. Anything that can be changed overnight or taken away is a part of you, but it is not you. You is how you show up every day. And when we get lost in our roles, when we get lost in fulfilling what these different expectations that different people have of us or that we have of ourselves in the roles, you are constantly trying to be something, be somewhere else. You're always external. And I think living in an external world causes us to always be playing catch up. When we can slow down enough to just be ourselves, I think it helps us slow down and it helps us enjoy the challenges and enjoy the good things as well. Like when I'm Karishma as a mom, oh, it's so much more fun. It is easier when they don't listen. Everything is easier. When I'm Karishma as when I'm giving a talk or when I'm here with you, it's so much more enjoyable than if I was trying to be who I think you want me to be today. Does that make sense?
Absolutely 100%. And that's the reason why the podcast it's called Be You.
You. That's why I couldn't wait to be here.
So let's go and dive in even deeper. What Be
Okay.
You means to you, and how can someone really start to get to know themselves better?
Okay. So I will throw out there, and I hope this is okay. I'm going to talk about it right now, but if anyone wants to actually go through it, it's absolutely free and it's on my website as well. So you can maybe share a link to the free thing. And it is about how to be you. Who are you? Who was Roxandra before life happened? And the way we do this is by tapping into our values and your natural characteristics. So if I asked you if are you comfortable with me doing this here? I should have
Yes,
probably asked
go
you
for it.
beforehand, yeah?
Absolutely. Yes, go, go.
So if I asked you to tell me three characteristics of yourself before life happened, before you had responsibilities and all these extra roles, while you were still innocent little girl, how would you describe her? What were three things that you loved about yourself that are a natural part of who you are?
I was super funny. I was super excited and I had such a enthusiasm for everything I was doing. And I saw color in everything. Like I was so bubbly and I was just so happy and I had so much fun in whatever I was doing. That was me as a child. And yeah, those probably would be the first three I can think of.
Okay, and that's beautiful. So I always say the way to be is bringing those characteristics to your roles, whatever your roles are, especially when they're challenging. And we can't always use all of them. Like, I can't necessarily crack a joke if I have to be stern with my child, but I can use another one of my characteristics from before. But where things are challenging, if we could bring in those parts of you that actually a lot of people lose as we grow up because we get lost in the seriousness of life, the demands of life, the pressures of life. And when we feel heaviest with those pressures, which are there, we can't make them disappear. Tapping into those parts of you just said are going to help you get through that, are going to help bring you back to your foundation, who Roxandra is. And you get to then deal with those challenges and those pressures in a bubbly, fun, enthusiastic way. You're going to find ways to make it not so serious because you are naturally bubbly. And what it does is it takes the edge off the challenge. So some people are really adventure. They remember being super adventurous. So what can we do to bring more adventure into how you're parenting, how you're showing up in the workplace? Or if it's not appropriate for work, what are you doing to like infuse adventure into your life? So you're fulfilling that part of you and you're not constantly doing things externally. You are fueling who you are and upping that energy so you could show up how you need to. So it's all about identifying who you are and fueling that and tapping into it every possible chance you get.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. That's really good. That's really good. You have to go back to your core beliefs, needs, values. Share with us a few more. Maybe someone literally they're just starting now to discover themselves. What other most common ones do you identify?
So most people that I work with have adventure, have humor, and humor is one that a lot of us have lost. Tons of us have lost. And then there's kindness, which is something actually, which was one of mine. I've always been a really affectionate person, and life can sometimes change that because you feel you're taken advantage of or whatnot. But then how can you infuse it in a different way? Because it fuels us. Like for me, even today, if I'm not having the best day and I go out and I do something nice for someone, I feel better and I'm a happier person instead of holding grudges like I need to tap back into who I am, if that makes sense. So some of the biggest ones are that people remember being really affectionate and kind and they don't feel they're always that when they're upset about something. Humor is definitely one of them. Adventure has been a top one amongst a lot of people. We're like, I wasn't scared of anything. And now I'm nervous about everything, especially after becoming a parent. A lot of people feel like they're a bit more hesitant to do things. So they've kind of let that adventure go. Yeah, and humor. I think those would be the top ones that I hear most consistently. There have been other ones, but those are the basics of like happiness for a lot of people. And when they're working day in and day out and they aren't making time for adventure, people say active as well. I was really active, always running outside, always playing outside. How many of us do that now?
I think it's a
How many
perfect combo,
dogs?
actually. It's a
Yeah,
really nice combo. Having even a little bit of all of those, they definitely will bring some sparkle in your life, a bit of
yeah,
magic. Laugh
yeah.
more, have fun more, be kind, be patient, empathic, and still be wild. Be
Yeah. And isn't
wild.
it ironic that these things that we know make us all feel good, somehow they all drop as we get older, as we take on more responsibilities. The number of people who are in the sandwich generation right now with young children to look after as well as elderly to look after, finding hardly any time to tap into these things. It's like you're so exhausted, you're thinking about the little things that can make the biggest difference. Because
Yes.
a really big difference if we tap into it.
Think we are so worried about what other people are thinking of us, or our energy is just so low. We are just feeling exhausted and tired all the time. And I love when I go to the playground. I have a toddler, and when I see a parent that's having fun in in the playground, I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I love that. And we join in, we're just playing. And it's amazing to see that happening. And we need that as well. The child is, inside us is it's really happy to have some
It
fun
is. Like even you
and
just
play.
talking about, look at the smile on your face as you're thinking about the park and playing. Like it's so beautiful because what you're doing is you're injecting positive energy into yourself. And because with roles and responsibilities and pressures, it basically drains us. When you can refuel yourself with these core things, spas, massages, restaurants, all that is great and fun. And yes, there are breaks we need. They are so much more fun when your foundation is fueled.
Absolutely. So this is when we go back to be you. Once you find out who you are, everything comes, you are aligning yourself with everything and everything flows. And this
Yeah,
is when I started, even in my business, to put a
yeah,
bit of magic in, to have fun, to do it messy, to try it out, to experiment. And this is when clients came in just because I was me. So
yeah,
I will definitely
exactly.
encourage everyone else to do the same. So now let's talk about your course, Karishma, because I know you have an amazing course. Tell us more about that.
So the return to work course is specifically for women returning to work after an extended period of time. Um, it can be after you've taken a break from work as well, whatever it is, but it's after becoming a parent. Because a lot of moms feel like they need to go back to who they used to be. And I'll tell you, every time I hear someone say, I don't know how to go back to like being who I was before I left, my heart breaks a little bit for them because why in the world would you want to go back to an old version of yourself when we are moving forward, like internally, emotionally, mentally? You cannot rewind. And you are so much more amazing now. So I'll share a part of that's actually in the course, but it's much better like when you go through it slowly. But there's one part of it which is about who you were versus who you are now that you're a parent, a mother. We have learned so much after becoming moms. We have refined so many skills that are so useful, and we are so much more now than we ever were before. You are this, like it's like I make a pie chart and I say, okay, this is all your skills you had, and now you have all these extra skills. Like you are now the full circle. And that is just when we can embrace who we are today, we're moving forward. When we can see that at every stage you're learning new things, the way you communicate when you have a baby versus a toddler versus a preteen versus a teen, you're adapting. You are doing things and learning on your own things nobody can teach you in a classroom. You have a lifelong learning, and being proud of that means you're going to show up differently at work. You are going to communicate differently. You are going to love yourself and your skill set differently. And I don't think we do that enough. So this course is all about one, showing women how strong they are, pushing them to move forward, giving them the tools in there. We go through expected challenges and how you can reframe them. So when we were talking about there's always challenges. We can't change that there's challenges, but in this course, we work through the expected challenges and start refocusing and reframing our minds so they are mentally fit to go back to work or to survive that first year where you're adjusting. And that
I
is kind of like the essence of the course.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for doing it because so many parents and moms definitely need it. And thank you for offering 50% off. So, whoever is joining, you're going to have a code. And if you put that in, you're going to have a discount as well. So, thank you again for doing that. I really appreciate it. It's amazing. And what really, really makes me think now is that I remember a few years back when I was helping people to write their CVs and to just get better jobs, and lots of them, they've been moms, and lots of them, they never had a job before. And exactly like you said, we were looking at their skills and those transferable skills that they know how to prioritize. They have a better time management, even communication, like so many things you can use in your new job, or if you
Yeah.
want to get a new role. They just don't see that. But
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Now, Karishma, before I let you go, can you please share with us a message with the audience?
For this particular audience, and actually it's a message that's very close to my heart, I am going to say, have the courage to be kind to yourself because we're so good at being kind to everybody else. We often forget to be kind to ourselves and our challenges, and we beat ourselves up when things are difficult. When we can step back and when we can just be like, yeah, I am going through a hard time and this is what I'm going to do about it. Or, yeah, I did do this really well. Like, I would love to see more moms and women and parents just be a bit nicer to themselves. There is more than enough pressure in this world. We don't need to be adding it on to ourselves. You are doing your best. Love yourself for all the effort you're putting in.
It's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And we are criticizing ourselves so much. And we
Yeah.
never talk with our best friend or the loved ones the way we talk with ourselves. So, what would be one step someone can start doing today to start being kind to themselves and love themselves?
Imagine yourself as a child. Imagine when you were a little kid. Would you talk to that little kid like that? Because that child is in all of us. It actually never, ever goes away. And I've learned this through tons of work I've done with a lot of people that that little boy or that little girl actually has a lot to do with how we react to everything. And when you think you are actually beating up and you are being that mean to that little version of yourself, it becomes a bit easier to be nice to her.
That's so powerful. Thank you, Karishma. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you here. It was fantastic. I really appreciate everything you do. And everyone, please go and connect with Karishma. I'm going to put all her details, so it'll be just a click away. So you can go and have a chat with her, see how she can help you. To go and check her course, go and check the freebies that she has on her website. Send her butterfly so that she knows you're coming from this community because she has discounts for you as well. It was phenomenal to have her. As you could see, she is amazing. She's true to who she is. She's phenomenal. She found her way to really be fantastic in everything she does. And this is what I would like from you as well. Step in to the true version of yourself. Don't be afraid. Just go and find who you are. What do you need? What do you love doing? And just do more of that. And the kids will love the new version of yourself as well. That's for sure. So remember, I still have the Clarity Business Coaching available, 2 slots. I offer them for free just so you can get the clarity that you need. If you are ready, just send me a fire. And I know that fire means that we can create some magic together. This was all from today. Keep on shining, keep on smiling. Be your podcast continues. See you soon. Bye.